Welcome everybody to the Disruptive Virtual Expo, and today we sit down with Kahlia and Mick. And Kahlia, welcome.
Thank you, Danny. How you going?
I'm well, thank you. And how are you? And tell us firstly where you are locating from.
Yeah, so we're going really well. So we live on a cattle station called Darthara Station, located 3 hours from our closest town of Huronin in northwest Queensland.
Oh, very, very remote. And Kahlia, for the viewers right now, tell us exactly what you do and your journey so far in business.
Yeah, so my husband and I, we've got a number of businesses, but one of our main focuses is our gourmet preserves business, which we called Middle of Nowhere Creations. And we called it that precisely because of where we live, in the middle of nowhere. So in Middle of Nowhere Creations, we started that in 2016 just as a bit of a sideline, just sort of testing the market a bit with making relishes and chutneys and sauces and such things, and it took off. And so we went online in 2020, and it's just exploded since then. So we make a broad range of gourmet preserves, everything from like your jams and your marmalades on your sweet side right through to your chutneys, relishes, sauces on the savoury side. We have extensive veggie gardens here on our cattle property, and we grow a lot of our own produce here to put back into our preserves. So we've got quite the production line happening. So from we speak about it being from paddock to plate. So I grow a lot of it here ourselves. It gets processed here, and it goes straight from me to the consumer. So it's really direct. Yeah.
Really awesome. And you've got a business brain yourself. Tell us a little bit about some of your other investments and side hustles.
Yeah, so we my husband and I have a challenge that we set for ourselves, that we've always brainstorming new business opportunities. So we've always got something going on behind the scenes. But what we've got, the balls where we've got in the air at the moment is we've obviously got our beef cattle, because we live on a cattle station, so we breed beef cattle. We've got earth moving machines, so we've got an earth moving business, which is where my husband works away a lot at this time of the year at that. We've got the gourmet preserves. We've got a YouTube channel called Life on the Lick Run, where my husband shows a bit about our life on the land, just gives like little snippets about what we do here. We've got numerous other passive investments such as residential houses and industrial sheds. We've got a self-storage business. We're into the crypto space. We've got quite heavy investments in crypto, in shares and all those sorts of things, just trying to spread our risk, so it's super thin, and we're highly diversified. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I mean, we're going to talk about easing the squeeze, which is, of course, the theme of this whole event, but also our chat today. But talk to us about the importance, especially in tough times, to maybe have fingers in multiple pies.
Yeah, so it's vitally important. We learnt that in 2014 it was when the massive drought started here in northwest Queensland, and back then my husband and I, we were still quite young at the time, only been married for 3 years, and we got hit really bad with the drought. It was really tough, and at that time all we had going was just our beef cattle and our earth moving business, and because they were both tied to the ag industry, which relies heavily on the weather, of course, it really knocked us around. And so it was after that when we realized that we needed to diversify, and we needed to look at other options that weren't reliant on the weather and weren't reliant just solely on agriculture. And so that's where it started, and that's when we started to look into our first step was into investment properties. So that's where we started. We started on that. We focus solely on cash flow positive properties. So we don't go down the negative gearing path. It's just all positive. And that's solely because out here we've only ever invested in northwest Queensland at this stage, and out here you can buy your houses for a really good price, and you can have passive income from them houses because the rent in relation to your house purchase price is really close, so you can have a really good return on it. For example, one house that we bought, we're pulling a 16% return, and so this is what we can do in northwest Queensland when you're happy to invest and when you're happy to take on that risk and spread, put your fingers in numerous pies. So that's how come it started, was from the drought that really knocked us around. And so from there, once we learnt the potential of other passive income streams, that's when we started going into other avenues, and that's when we got like Middle of Nowhere Creations rolling then, of course, because that was just another income stream that we had. And then in 2021 we started then down our crypto path, and that's been a journey within itself, but that's an amazing that's got huge potential for passive income and for diversification down the crypto path. Yeah.
I love it, Carly, and it's so interesting in your perspective because we talk about easing the squeeze, and really, for most of what we're chatting about is financially. But in your case, you came from a position of weather, which doesn't normally affect
Yeah.
everybody else, but in your case, it certainly did. But talk to us because it's interesting when you may be in a tough financial position to then look at investing. That can be scary for a lot of people. So I know you're very strong on mindset. Talk to us about how you built your own strong mindset to be able to go into those, potentially dangerous spaces.
Yeah, so you got to be willing to open that door yourself first. Like nobody can tell you where to start, and this is it. This is what happened to us. No one could tell us before we were ready as such. I don't really know. I can't really put my finger on exactly when we were ready, but we just sort of fell into it. We started listening to certain podcasts. We were following sort of newsy different things, and you could just see potential there. And that's when we sort of once we started, you could just find more and more and more on it. And so when we started looking into podcasts, that's what opened up our minds then to mindset. And back in 2014, I was nothing like what I am now. Look back and it's been like an amazing journey as to where I've come from. Even in the last sort of 3 years, it's been an epic time. And so we just opened that door. And the more and more that you learn, the more you can see the opportunities. And this is it. You've got to be willing to put the time and the effort into your own self-education, your own self-development. And so that's what we do. My husband and I have constantly got a podcast going. We're constantly, we don't have TV. We don't waste our time watching stuff that don't benefit us. So everything that we watch, whether that be on YouTube or on Zoom calls, we're always doing something to either learn something or to develop ourselves. And that's vital when you want to open up new doors and find new opportunities. And so we spend a lot of time just thinking of different ways that we can spread our investments and our time. We don't waste a minute. If I'm mowing the lawn, for instance, I've got a podcast going either on mindset or on self-development or on investment properties or crypto or anything at all. Marketing, even every single little thing that I can do, I've got something. I'm always trying to make myself better. And this is it. Once you get to the stage when you realize that you're ready, that's when it compounds within itself. And a lot of people say, and even myself, we think of it ourselves, that the biggest regret is that they didn't start sooner. But my point of view is that you're only ready when you're ready. You can't sort of go into wanting to diversify and have the right mindset if you're going to have regrets about yourself. So you sort of, and that all comes with strengthening your own mindset and being, consistent with your self-development.
I love it. And when we talk about in investing, we talk about bull and bear markets. What excites you more, the good times or the challenging times? I know that may sound like, for some people listening, a strange question, but some people really do thrive when seemingly everybody around them else is facing challenges. What do you personally prefer?
Yeah, so I'll start with a saying, and I've got it up here on my pin board above my desk, and it says, I'm making sure I got it right. Bull markets make you money, but bear markets make you rich, and that's exactly what it is. So when we first started, if we focus on the crypto market specifically, because that's where bull and bear are really, really definite, we started that in a bull market. Everybody, like the hype was phenomenal, and so we just got into it, started our education. We invested in a course, so we do it all properly, so we know exactly what we're doing. And we've actually invested in 2 courses now, but when we started a bear market, it was just hype. Well, it only lasted about 3 months, and that's when it crashed, and we've been at rock bottom. But what we've learned in the bear market is that, there hasn't been massive, you haven't had massive returns, but the biggest investment that we've had out of it is our self-development, because there's been so much time to educate ourselves. There's been so many people, speculating, and then something doesn't go as the speculation, said, and then it turns around. So there's always something to learn in a bear market. You have the time to put back into yourself, so as you can educate yourself. When the bull market does come, then you are ready. And the most important thing that you put into your time in a bear market is your mindset, because when the bull market comes, you need to have your head right for when she goes sky high, because you don't want to be a panic merchant. And that goes for every single industry. Like even in our preserves business, we have highs and lows. Every e-commerce, every business has highs and lows, peaks and troughs. Christmas is manic, and you have to have your head right, so as you know how to handle those situations when they come. You have to be prepared.
I love that. And For when times are tough economically, where are the ways that you've eased the squeeze in the past or continue to do so, or advice for those listening?
So my advice would be is to never dwell on the negativity. Like, yeah, times are really, really tough at the moment. Everybody's feeling it. I'm not immune to that. We don't have, like, yeah, we've got huge assets behind us, but we're not cash wealthy. And so everybody feels the squeeze. But it's a case of understanding how to handle the situation. Like having your mind right. We study a lot on the power of attraction. And so that's really important, because if you're considering, if you're thinking in your mind, oh, my life's so hard, I've got no money, I can't afford this, like we can't do that, I've got no freedom, blah, 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 whatever it is, whatever you are thinking and you're feeding your mind, that's what your outcome's going to be. If you turn that around and say, I'm so grateful that my life is abundant, I have multiple passive income streams, turn it into positivity, that's what you're going to attract. And it's so true, like everyone, like we're all we all walk the walk of life together, but it's how we handle our own mindset, and it comes back to a personal journey. And this is it, you have to be responsible for that. You can't lay the blame on like, of course there's powers bigger than us, the governments, and whatnot, but you can't exactly lay the blame on them. You need to start with yourself in your mind, get your head right, and focus on positive things to attract them to you.
I love it. That's such great advice. And for those that are watching or tuning in right now, some people are here looking for business opportunities. They may inside them want to go down that track, but they don't know where to start. Or they could be looking for a second or third or fourth stream of income. What are some things you'd probably advise people to look at if they're looking to grow their assets or just income streams?
Yeah, so the first thing and I'll just reiterate what I said before, is start on your mindset, right? So find podcasts that sit well with you, that offer you inspiration, because as soon as you feel inspiration, that's when motivation comes, and that's when doors open, and you can dream up, you can manifest dreams within yourself of opportunities that will come, and so. I mean, if you're at this expo, then obviously you've already got something behind you. Like you're not here for no reason. And so there's opportunities everywhere. I encourage you to join Facebook groups, even small business Facebook groups, and just be in there, be active in there, and you never know what opportunities come up. People are always looking for what's the word, like distributors, which is exactly what we're doing in our gourmet preserves business. We are always looking for distributors, people who either want to market for us or who want to be resellers of our products themselves, like on a wholesale basis. Our doors are always open. We approach businesses all the time about expanding our customer base, and so there's always opportunities. And a lot of times people get a bit scared about the upfront cost, but there is so many opportunities out there where there is no upfront cost. Think up something yourself, and go with it. And that's another reason I haven't talked about it much here, about our YouTube channel, right? That's another one. Like to go on YouTube, what does it cost you to set up? Nothing. Everybody owns a smartphone. Get that going. Film yourself. Find something that you have a passion for and share it. And you can find huge opportunities as to where that will lead. Not only do we want to show people and give them a glimpse into our life, to give them that experience as such, but we want to offer people inspiration. We were setting up a merchandise line off the side of it. There's so many opportunities that you can go down, and you just have to be willing to put the time in, like invest the time back into yourself.
You've mentioned podcasts a few times. Can you recommend a few podcasts on, say, mindset or books you've read or YouTube channels you watch? When you're really trying to dive into that mindset, where do you turn? Who do you turn to? Where do you turn to?
Yeah. So the first book you need to read is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That is vital. Once you've read his book, you need to go out and you need to buy his board game called Cash Flow. Yep, Cash Flow 101. You need to go and buy that board game, and then that will teach you about passive income. That's about cash flow positive income. That's the first two things you need to go and do. If you can't afford to buy the board game, go online. But the Cash Flow 101 game is online. Jump on there and play with other people. It's vitally important, and that just starts on your self-education, okay? And then as for podcasts, we listen to lots. A really important mindset podcast is from the Mindset Mentor, Rob Dial. He's an American person, and he has a very, very popular podcast. He puts out one a day, and that is vital. He is amazing what he shares. And there's other people we follow, people who aren't even with us anymore, like the likes of Zig Ziglar. He is amazing. I absolutely love Zig. Bob Proctor, he is next level. Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher from the Proctor Gallagher Institute. They are absolutely amazing. They are next level. And then there's other just general business people who we love, who offer so much inspiration. A major one is Gary Vaynerchuk. He is next level. I listen to all of his podcasts. Another one is Ryan Serhant from Serhant in America. Like there's heaps out there, and as soon as you start to open that door, they automatically pop up, and they're there and they're in your face, because that's what you're attracting to yourself. Yep.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just start. Yeah.
There's endless opportunity for education, and at a click of our finger, and of course free too. Now, the other part of our theme for this event is, of course, money for jam. So we're called Ease a Squeeze ... money for jam. Now, that is a play on words, especially because you're involved. So you've touched on Middle of Nowhere Creations a little bit, but talk to us just a little bit further about if people come and visit your booth right now, what they may find, and of course, how to get in contact with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we, like I was saying earlier, we have numerous different different streams where you can come to us. We've got our retailer course, which is straight through our website. And then we've also got wholesale. So if you're a small business, bricks and mortar, or if you own a marketplace online, then you can purchase our products through us from a wholesale perspective. But a new avenue that we have just started with Gary, who is running this expo, is we are looking for distributors. So you might be a stay-at-home mum, for example, who goes to a local markets on a Saturday morning. We are setting it up that you can purchase our products of us through a wholesale perspective and go and take that to your local markets and sell it. And another avenue that we are looking into, we are slowly investigating this one, is similar to, we don't want to go down the path of an MLM, but we want to go to, it's just virtually distributorship, where you market for us and you retail our products and you earn a commission through that. So there's so many different avenues. So we're always here. My team is always online. So we either, find us on our website, which is Middle of Nowhere Creations. Come in there and find us, flick me an email, pick up the phone, give me a ring, whatever you like. We're always here to take inquiries, and we want to work with people. We're flexible, and we want to encourage people to open that door for themselves.
That's awesome. And of course, you can visit Kahlia at the Middle of Nowhere Creations booth at this expo. And also, for those that may just want to taste your beautiful jams and preserves, we all love them. I've got a box literally just sitting right here, which is always good for the morning toast. Give yourself a little bit of a plug, because there is an opportunity for everybody that comes along to taste this direct to their door for themselves.
Yes, there is. So we I guess one of our best sellers would be apple cinnamon and date jam. I'm not sure if you've tried that one, Danny, or if anybody else has, but that would have to be our best seller in our jam. People love it. They put it, I've heard people say they put it even on like a toasted sandwich with their roast pork on a toasted sandwich. People love it, like in badgers, as in apple turnovers, they just love it. We do like a sweet chili sauce, perfect with your wedges, all those sorts of things, tomato sauces. We have a very, very broad range. We we offer a broad range of gourmet products for everybody.
That's awesome, Kahlia. Well, you're such an inspiration. Honestly, you are. In all these areas that you're working in, your mindset is incredible. It's so strong. So we do recommend everybody go and have a chat to Kahlia. She is awesome. You'll learn something. I always learn something when chatting to her. But thank you so much for joining us, Kahlia, and being part of the Disruptive Virtual Expo.
Thank you very much. Yeah.